Hey, Queen City Gaming fans, welcome back, folks. So today, guys, we have the top 8 finale for the Cherokee Open. The players are going over terrain currently right now and should be setting up shortly for today's event. So on table 1 today, we have Michael Henry and Austin Miller. Let's pull their list up and take a look at what they have going on. So Michael Henry, which is ranked 3 in our Swiss currently. Alright, so Michael is our 1 Imperial player in the top. He is running an Imperial officer, just bare bones. Darth Vader with Force Push, Force Choke, and Tenacity. Short Troopers with no upgrades. Stormtroopers with no upgrades and F-90 Mortar. Royal Guard with the Electro Staff and Into the Fray. 2 units of Sniper Scout Troopers and 3 dewbacks with Into the Fray and the T-21 Blaster. I talked about this in the first game, and I really think that a lot of these dewbacks really need to have that ranged weapon on them just to help push things kind of down the table, and especially in games like Long War and Long March and things like that. Alright, so Austin Miller is playing a droid list. Looks like we have Count Dooku, 3 B-1 battle droids with the medic droid. Interesting. Nope, sorry, we just have 1 unit of that. We have 3 units with the PK worker droid, unit of Magna Guard with Tenacity, Protector, and Smoke Grenades, a Trade Federation AAT battle tank with T-Series tactical droid pilot, main targeting ray, armor piercing cells, and high energy shells. Alright, so an interesting and different look on droids here. I kind of like it, with only 1 Magna Guard and no spiders to talk about. So interesting, interesting, interesting. Now Austin comes in as 5th in our Swiss currently. So setup has begun. We are flipping some objective and mission cards here. And I am trying to find points totals. And it's looking like, I believe, Austin is going to be our blue player today, but we'll find out here shortly. So time for the round has begun as well, so we are in our top 8 round. We are also running a redemption bracket today, but I am not filming the redemption bracket. We do want to thank our host here, Ryan, from the Stabcast. All of his Stabcast guys have done a fantastic job running this event, and it's been an absolute blast for the players that are involved. Just a couple questions, so going into missions now. And we're in the last 2 vetoes. Alrighty. Alright, so our cards today are Hemmed In, Hostage Exchange, and Limited Visibility, which are going to be really interesting for this type of setup, especially with Hostage Exchange. The droid player is really going to have to fight those dewbacks and Vader off and use his Magna Guard and Dooku really well in this series. So we'll see how this plays out. We are playing on the little fishing village from the Mandalorian series. We have a nice little downed, and let's go to this view. We have a nice little Razor Crest there, a couple huts. We have some area terrain, which are the prawn pools, and some jungle areas with some rocks, a couple little barricades, and some crates to add some variety to the table. So guys, we are going into setup now, setting up some setting up their cards, and then we're going to get minis and get underway. So deployment has begun, just pre-measuring some ranges out. This Imperial player is going to have to really watch his line of sights. He's going to need to block himself from that AAT tank, because with those impact shells, he is going to be able to negate the armor of the Dupac pretty easily. He also has the high energy shells on there, so it's going to be able to just remove cover from things. So, and then Dooku's going to be a big threat too. Dooku has really made a comeback in the competitive scene recently, just because of some of the changes that have happened, as well as, you know, force speed coming out, which really helps him with not having jump. And I believe he doesn't even have charge either. So that really helps Dooku. Now, we'll also see moving forward too how Dooku plays. Because of his mastery, he can reduce his Pierce by 1 to go down to Pierce 1 and remove immune to Pierce, which is fantastic, especially when we're seeing Yoda and Vader really come on the table and get used a lot, or with like Darth Maul. So, and then, you know, he'll always be great against Commander and Operative Luke. So, fun times. So I do want to thank all the players that have come out to the Cherokee Open today. It has been a fantastic event, and we had a huge turnout of like 45 people, which has been great. So, now these players are going to be a little rushed for time because their deployment is taking so much into this round. Let's see if our timer has been updated. Alright, so our round timer has not started yet. This is just our setup timer, I believe. Alright, and guys, do me a favor, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you please subscribe down below. Help us grow the channel. We are hoping to reach 8,000 subscribers before our 3-year anniversary in October. Alright, check out some of our links for our social medias and everything. And if you're a Star Wars Legion fan, make sure you stick around, because we are having battle reports returning. I've lined up some great opponents. They're also going to be doing a narrative Storm-type campaign. If you're an Age of Sigmar player, definitely stop on by, because we are going to be doing a narrative league for that between me and Derek. We're each going to be playing 3 armies, duking it out to see who is the master of the mortal realms. I haven't decided which 3 I'm taking yet. I believe Derek, though, is taking his Aura of War Clans, his Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and then maybe his Idoneth Deepkin. It's either going to be that or Sylvaneth. For me, I'm definitely going to be taking my Stormcast Eternals. And I might pull out my old Beast of Chaos army if I can get them painted up in time, because we are going to be setting a new standard on the channel to where we are going to want armies to be fully painted for them to be on the table. So, I got to get painting. We're also hoping to start a Dungeon Bowl League on here. It's kind of just like a fun thing, and we'll get games in when we can. I've got a couple of college teams, and Derek's probably going to play some, or we may get Tim from your local game store to do that. I do want to give out a shout out, guys, to a couple of game shops in the area. So if you are in Mint Hill, North Carolina, make sure you check out your local game store. Tell Tim that I told you to come by and say hey. They do have a huge selection of Star Wars Legion products, as well as a decent selection of Games Workshop stuff, a large board game area, and they usually have Pokemon cards in stock. So if that's something you're interested in, go check that out. Now, we do have another event coming up here as well in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to be on March 5th at Atomic Empire. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be a skirmish tournament. And we're pulling the event up now. Alright, so it is a Star Wars Legion skirmish tournament that starts at 12 p.m. It will use the AMG 2021 skirmish kit, and it should be a bunch of fun for these players. And you actually probably will see me there. I have not gotten the limited edition Dooku cards yet, so I may be there just to play and see if I can pull some stuff out with my CIS. Alright, so deployment has begun. Looks like we've got some stormtroopers deploying in that terrain with the scouts. A couple B1s in the back. And my favorite quote so far, there's really no point in hiding the tank. He is right. So he's putting it in the center to be large and in charge, putting pressure on those hostages. So now if you also are wondering why only B1 and stormtroopers have the hostages, it must be a core unit in the center that has a hostage unit has to be a core trooper unit. And then for scoring points, they have to get these hostages back into their deployment zones. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, especially with this deployment. They're going to be right on the edge of being able to just yank these hostage units on turn 2. On turn 1, they can't be attacked, so, you know, you got to kind of bide your time. But the current hostage unit is like range 1, or current hostage stormtroopers are range 1 away from that AAT. So they can just get blasted really quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these units. So it looks like we still have a bunch of B1s to go. The Magna Guard and Dooku left to go on the table. And it looks like Magna Guard are coming out on the corner. So guys, when we look at Austin Miller, he actually went 2-1 against Michael Robinson in the first round. And then in the second round, let's look and see. Austin Miller ended up with a 2-2 win on battle points against Brandon Johnson, which is interesting. And then in the third round, he ended up winning against David Jones in battle points again. So, interesting. And then let's check Michael Henry, see his rise to the top. So Michael Henry ended up playing Matt Price with a win of 4-0 in his first match in the first table. And then Michael Henry ended up winning 2-1 against Robert Salvia in the in the second game. And it looks like let's see here, where is he? In this next one. Let's see here, round 3, where are you? Oh, there we are. Michael Henry, he ended up winning 3-2 against Kevin Connors on table 16. So some solid wins overall for Michael Henry. Now Austin, winning on battle points in the last 2 have been really big. I'm seeing that a lot at this tournament, to where games are going down to that last wire and really focusing on their kill loss at the end, tying on the mission itself and then just trying to kill their opponent, which is a change, and I don't know if that's something that happened with 1.5 coming in, but I saw that a lot, to where we had a lot of ties for mission and battle, and it just literally came down to who killed the most. And in some of these games, guys, they're coming down to trooper units with 1 to 2 minis on them, to where if you don't wipe out that activation, you don't get the points for the unit. So it's really interesting to see. All right, looks like we are getting towards the end of our deployment. Looks like we got 1 unit of B1s left and the Imperial Royal Guard and Vader left on the other side. All right, so it looks like our camera 2 has gone down. All right. Okay. All right, so there is the handshake, and we are ready to go. All right, guys, so it looks like we have our double three pips going, which is Roger Roger for the droids. So giving out orders to the B1s that are the hostage carriers. One. So chaining over to the Magna Guard on the bottom area. And then hitting the B1s up on the other side. So he should just have the tank and Dooku left in his bag for this turn. Great play and great order control from a droid player, which you expect. And then looks like we've got Darkness Descends for the Imperial player, giving an order to Vader and giving him, I believe, Reliable 2. So Vader now is getting those surge tokens to really kind of help him with his saves and his survivability. So starting with the hostage carrier unit, looks like they're doing 2 moves just straight back to their deployment zone. Trying to get them out of line of sight as quick as possible. And then on the roll-off, our droid player is getting going first, it looks like. Alright guys, and this is something you're going to notice a lot in this higher level tournament play, is that these players are being super precise in their movements and their orientations of their squads, because sometimes it can come down to something super simple like blocking the unit leader or sniping out a heavy trooper with really good use of cover and line of sight from their units. So Imperial players going into their bag. And we have a dewback right off the start. I do love the paint job on these guys. They are a really cool, like, gray and green looking and match this table really, really well. I did say we did have a dewback player earlier that painted his up as a Reptar, which was pretty neat. Dewbacks moved up, going into the dice for the white or droid player, or going into bag for the droid player, and we get Dooku right off the bat. So looks like we did force guidance for dodge. Alright, just doing a simple move around and taking a dodge actions along with that force guidance to get the extra dodge in there. The Empire player here does have a lot of range 4 with Pierce 1, which, you know, is not good for that Jedi. But we do have a heal bot that can put 2 extra wounds back on Dooku. So the interesting thing with droids, guys, their medics aren't really that seen that often, just because of the limitations of what they can treat. The only models in that entire army that can be healed by a medic bot is Dooku, Maul, and Grievous, which is, you know, not a lot. You know, compare it to their PK worker droid who has Repair 1, who can heal any of their core special forces, heavies, anything like that, which makes them super versatile, and you do see a couple of those in this army. Alright. Looking like we drew another Dewback out of the bag on the Imperial side, just measuring some ranges out, figuring which one to activate first. Now these Dewbacks are the same, and they do have the ranged weapons on them, so with you know, the Creature Trooper rules, they can still do some shots down range. Alright, looks like Dewback's moving up and doing what appears to be a double spur all the way up past those droids right by that little hut there. Ryan handing out some top faction prizes already that were provided by us here at Queen City Gaming. So it was kind of interesting for this, guys. All of our top 8 players, we only had one Rebel, one Empire, and one Gar player. So they just automatically got the top faction prizes. But we have 5 droid players that are going to be duking it out all the way to the end to see which one of them are getting top faction prizes. have activated the tank, it has moved up. And looks like we are activating the AP shells. I'm going to take some shots into the dewback up there at the right side of the screen. Empire player is correct. This is the ouch time. A nice big pull with like impact 4 coming in at him. Ooh. So 6 shots are going through armor and everything onto that dewback. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, dewback taking 3 wounds on that first round of shooting, which takes it down to half health. So that is big for that droid player. He really needs to take out these dewbacks before they crash into his B1 line, because he just does not have enough counter melee to deal with these 3. He only has 1 Magna Guard unit in Dooku, so he'll still have 1 that he needs to take down in shooting. Alright, looks like we pulled a core unit out for the Imperials. We're doing a move up, trying to stay out of range 2 of the old Dooku's, and stay within range 1 of the tank. Oh, interesting. Moving all the way up to the tank. So it is a good area to stay at, just because the main gun on that tank cannot fire within range 1 of itself. So they can't really, cuts down on how much damage is going to go through on them. And then a lot of the missiles too can't fire at range 1. That's it. Right. So droid player going to Magna Guard, moving them up around that house. We'll see if he is going to charge or end up shooting this dewback. Alright, so it's looking like we're going to have Magna Guard shooting into the dewback with the rocket launcher, which is probably the right move here. If he would have charged in, he wouldn't have the impact bonuses from the rocket itself and as big of a pool. Oh, nope. Changing it up, going in melee with the dewback. Interesting choice here. Alright, Magna Guard going in. Ooh, that's a pretty good roll. So 5 going into the other dewback. Ooh, that dewback taking 3 as well. So these dewbacks are hurting after the first turn. Alright. Looks like we have a commander token coming up, which is the Imperial officer on the Imperial side. nope. My apologies. This is not a. This is actually a Special Forces unit. So Magna Guard, or not Magna Guard, Royal Guard moving up, trying to get into combat. So Royal Guard trying to go after the Magna Guard. Two big melee units, and he just squeaks them in there. So cohesing into C. Okay, so some weird cohesion here. For him to snap in with the rest of the unit, with the rest of the Magna Guard, he's actually not able to because of the cohesion rules of the unit. They can't stay within speed 1 of the unit leader and still snap into the other Magna Guard just because of how big the base of the dewback is. But Magna Guard going, or Royal Guard going in with the Electro Staff as well. So looks like we had 7 go through, dodging 1, and rolling 6 dice for the Magna Guard. Ooh, taking 4, so that's 2 Magna Guard down with that attack. Alright, taking the 2 regular Magna Guard and leaving the Rocket and other Magna there. So droids are up with their next activation. I do think Royal Guard are going to be making a comeback, especially with Magna Guard being so prevalent on the table, that they are just a great counter to that, and they can protect everything around them from spider droids that are shooting in. So B1's moving over. Yeah, but yeah, they took a lot of damage, but those Royal Guard are no joke, man. All right, so Imperial player pulling snipers out of their bag. All right, snipers moving around a little bit. All right, some movement here from some B1s. Imperials going back into the bag. All right, core troopers drawn from the Imperials. Believe the only thing left is the stormtroopers there in the woods. And my apologies, folks. Totally forgot. It is turn 1, not turn 0. Alright, so going with the hostage unit, they are moving back. And Dooku triggering his standby that I missed earlier, and using it to take a move up. Alright, and then doing another move with these stormtroopers backwards. So the B1 droids are activating, moving, and taking another move forward, trying to catch up with their buddies. The droid chain in this army is so important that it's not even funny. They really have to watch their unit placement to make sure that they can spread that order control around. Because B1 battle droids, if they're not able to take that aim action to help them get some damage through to reroll some of those white dice, it's really hard for them to do much in the game. But they are just so many bodies on the table that they do pose a problem. Alright, Trevor double checking his chain and moving on to Imperials. Alright. So Imperials going out, and it is the final core unit, which is in the jungle right here, looking like they're going to do a move up, trying to protect this hostage unit. I will say the Imperial hostage unit is going to have a hard time just getting into some cover to try and survive, especially against that tank turn 2. So these armies are just right on top of each other turn 1, with melees already busting out all across the place. So we're going with some more B1s over here. And I believe this is the unit with the PK worker droid. So I'm sure he's going to try and get those up there to try and heal those Magna Guard as quick as he can. Correction, that was not the PK worker droid unit. That one is still back a little ways. Alright, so final dewback going and spurring up. Oh no, droid down. And back with his buddies. So it looks like we got 4 white shots going in with a reroll. I think this is going into Dooku. So no, I believe that is a wound on Dooku. Alright. No joke, these players are correct. They're debating on putting wound tokens on units or cards. They decided cards because, quote, the horde is coming in. No joke. Ugh. No joke there, guys. Looks like we've got a unit of B1s just kind of moving up and around, and looks like they did heal back one of the Magna Guard already. Alright, so the Imperial officer has come out of the bag and debating on whether to just go up and headshot Dooku with him. Alright. Okay, so now this is Operative Vader, not Commander Vader. That's why the Imperial officer is there. So he does have Jedi Hunter, so you gain Search to Crit when you're attacking other Jedi, so he could be very good against Dooku. Just measuring some ranges, looks like a sniper has come out. What are our activation counts here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the droid player, which is interesting. But a lot of points going into Dooku and the tank in that list. So the Imperial player definitely has the up on this. Looks like Vader has activated and trying to sneak his way in. So moving up as close as he can. Looks like we're going to have a saber throw into the tank here. Nope, maybe a saber throw into some B1s or even Dooku. Alright, looks like a B1 just goes down. Just some quick measurements. Alright, so that is the end of turn 1. We are going to clean up and head into turn 2 with command cards coming shortly. So interesting game so far. Now, this is really where things are going to change because the hostage units become fair game for attacking. Now, the droid player really does have a lot of things he's got to focus on. He has that dewback and the Royal Guard in combat with his Magna Guard. He's really going to have to wipe out one or the other to try and save that unit. And then he's got Vader just charging down Dooku, it also looks like, as well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup here to see who goes first and what goes first. Does he try, do you go after Dooku with Vader, or do you use the Royal Guard to wipe out the Magna Guard? So it looks like we have cards coming up. cards, and we have Dooku's 1 pip and Vader's 2 pip. So it looks like the droid player will be activating first, with Dooku getting an order. HQ uplink on the battle droids to do his droid chain, hopefully ending up on the Magna Guard. Yep, and the droid chain ending on the Magna Guard. For some really good order control here, with the only thing going in his bag will be the tank itself. Alright, so Imperials are issuing orders, one to a core unit, and then I believe Vader as well getting an order. Okay. Looks like we are starting off with Magna Guard. Or no, Imperial Guard. Nope, looks... Oh, no, sorry, this is Dooku doing a force push, it looks like. Alright, so pushing those Royal Guard away and then getting into Vader with Dooku. So it looks like lightning into the Royal Guard. So it looks like 3 going into them with no cover. Ooh, 2 blanks. So 1 Magna Guard goes down. Oh, correction. 3 wounds going into the Magna Guard. So 1 Magna Guard goes down and 1 has another wound, which is a great roll. So now going into Vader with the lightsaber. Using the aim for a reroll. So 5 into Vader. With Pierce 1, using his mastery to get rid of immune Pierce. Alright, so spinning surges from Vader and taking 2 wounds onto Vader. So not a bad activation for Dooku, really spreading out that damage everywhere, and, you know, excellent play by, excellent play. Okay, so Dooku is gaining an immobilized token because he used, I believe, burst of speed, yep. It's a great play by Austin there. Michael Henry going with a do-back, it looks like. Taking an aim. And charging into the hostage B1 unit for some chompy chomp action. So the Electro Staff and Chomps from the Dewback. Had one cog dice there using his aim.
Wow! Look at those B1s.
Oh, wow.
He's got it on screen.
Oh, wow. Looks like we are only losing 2 B1s from that. Oh. Losing. Wow, losing 2 B1s out of that unit from that Dewback attack. Rolling hot on those white dice. Alright, droid player going into the bag of wonder and mystery and pulling out, oh shocker, the tank. No, it's not, because perfect order control. Alright guys, sorry for that pause. Alright, Imperial player going into the bag, and it looks like Special Forces, I believe.
No, it's right here.
Oh, you're good. Alrighty. I gave you that key, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Sniper's trying to line some spots up. Alright, Sniper's by the Razor Crest shooting the B1s behind the hut there with the PK worker droid. I think they're just going over cover rules. And then Sharpshooter's going to reduce the cover here. Okay. Alright, going with the Magna Guard here. Alright, Magna Guard doing aim attack onto that Dewback, hoping to do the last 3 wounds to it. Now they are 1 Magna Guard down, so it will be hard to do. Alright, and looks like they are also throwing out a smoke grenade, because why not? So smoke grenades saw a lot of changes in this new edition. They are a one-time use only item, but they are free action now. So I have been seeing them a lot more on the table, and it's a item I want to experiment with a little bit more. All right. 6 black going in with an aim. Ooh, 1 reroll with the aim. So 6 going into the dewback. Ooh, and that is a dead dewback there, just barely. I know that's got to be a big relief onto the droid player here. Taking out one of those big melee threats right on. Okay. Looks like we've got some debate on which you need to activate next for these Imperials. Yeah, no problem, man. Alright, sorry about that, guys. My rest of my party's heading out, so catching up with them. Alright, looks like we've got snipers going into the Magna Guard over here, just lining up some shots, making for obscurity and everything. Hey man, your dice is under the... right there. Alright, and looks like Magna Guard did block 2, but with Pierce 1, that 1 Magna will go down. Alright, and then the dewback gaining his surge from the unit that activated due to Into the Fray, which is an interesting card to put on those guys, but one that I'm kind of both ways with. It could be good or bad, whichever way you choose. It is providing those surge tokens, but it is doing a little... it's taking up those points. I would have much rather seen comms jammers on those dewbacks because it really would have shut down this droid chain and this droid army. Alright. So it looks like Imperials have drawn a core, rolling for some suppression. And it looks like these stormtroopers are doing a double move back into terrain, and I believe this is the hostage unit as well. Yep. Yep, moving back, trying to gain some cover from that area in the back, just in case that tank activates and wipes them off. So B1's there in the center doing a dodge punch into that dewback, and I believe this is the undamaged dewback. 4 white dice going in with looks like nothing after armor and everything. So back to Imperials with 40k players in the background yelling log. Alright, Royal Guard going. I'm sure they're going to try and finish off those Magna Guard there. to knock out one of the big melee threats of the droids. Alright, knocking some suppression off. Alright, looks like Magna Guard are lining up a move forward. Alright, and then it looks like we have a charge into the Magna Guard. Alright, spinning a surge from, I believe, into the fray on them. With Magnas blocking everything. It's a big roll for that droid player. Check, check. Check, check. Alright, looks like we got some B1 shots going in. And a suppression on that back unit of stormtroopers with the hostage. Okay. So we do have the droids with the objective being chomped on by that dewback there, and then the stormtroopers with the hostage actually back in those jungles. So it makes for an interesting table, and the droids player's really going to have to work to make sure he can keep control over that hostage to win this mission. So dewback activating and using it to reposition. Doing a turn move. And then looks like he is going to charge into Dooku. No. Maybe? Yes, dewback into Dooku there. Alright, time for some chomps and some shock prods into him. Alright. Ooh, not a good roll. So it looks like 3 went through, and a dodge was taken to drop it down to 2, and then the droid player saves both of them on Dooku, which is big. but we still have Vader left to go. All right, so B1's moving up with the Docbot. Checking for cohesion. With 2 B1 units left to activate. Imperials checking some ranges here. It looks like we're going with the unit of snipers there at the edge of the jungle. Oh no, the commander at the edge of the jungle, moving up forward and putting a aim token on the core troopers there with Dooku. So activating the B1s back behind the AAT tank, just kind of shuffling over a little bit with them. Looking like they're trying to line up some shots on those Royal Guard after they Magna either run away or get wiped. Nope. Oh, nope. Those B1s are doing some shots into the jungle there, or into the Imperial officer. Goes down to one, and he takes a wound. Alright, checking some ranges here, looks like. So force choke from Vader, killing out one unit. Looks like he is force pushing Dooku away, interestingly. Which frees Vader up to go in there and probably attack something else, but it also frees up those stormtroopers as well. So it'll be interesting to see where Vader goes and what he does after this. So it looks like Vader's either going after the tank or those B1s in the back with the heal bot. and we've got about 68 minutes left in the round here, with players tied up and with droids winning on units destroyed, currently with one dewback destroyed on the Imperial side. Alright, so Vader charging into the B1 blob there with the medic bot. Or sorry, moving and then jumping or moving through those guys. Alright, so he is in melee now, so he can attack. So a lot of red dice coming in. Spinning one aim. So 5 going into those B1s, so there's probably just 5 dead B1s, especially with Pierce 2. And that is 5 dead B1s on that unit. Alright, looks like we are... Alright. B1's moving up, it looks like. Now, guys, this has been an interesting battle. They have been right on top of each other and have just been in melee after melee, and not much shooting going on here. It's interesting with Vader running all the way back there and charging those guys. Alright, so looks like we got that placement done. Some heavy thinking on the Imperial side. Pulling a token out. Core for the Imperials, which I believe is the unit there in the center where Vader was, as well as the unit there by the tank still at that activate. Okay. So going with the unit in the center there. Doing a move up. It looks like going into melee. Yep, so the Stormtroopers going into melee there with the B1s, just due to placement because of the little prawn pool there. They weren't able to 100% get in base, or 100% base. the core there in front of the tank going. I'm just doing a little move back, it looks like. And doing some shots. Looks like 3 hits. And 2 saves on the Dooku. Alrighty, guys. So that wraps up turn 2 with things still tied with each of them holding their objectives, except the Imperial player has their objective in their deployment zone. So technically they are winning at this point. So let's go into turn 3 and see what happens. So we've got command cards that are going to be coming out shortly. Alright, choosing cards for the turn. Alright, we got Vader's 1 pip and Dooku's 3 pip coming out. So it looks like the Imperials will have priority this turn and have first activation. Alright, so it looks like Dooku giving an order to himself and the Magna Guard, as well as a unit of B1s. And then looks like he's going to use his HQ uplink and do the chain for his B1s. So I believe the only thing in the bag currently is his tank. Alright, looks like we might be looking to see what Vader is going to do here, or looking for another shot down range or something. Looks like we're going to activate Vader first and try and get him in contact with that tank. Alright, and that is 1 hour remaining in this game with 3 turns left. Vader disengaging and coming over, it looks like. Alright, looks like we're going to go with some snipers moving over. And maybe taking some shots in there. Pierce 1, looks like 2 dead B1 battle droids. Oh, correction, no, 2 save rolls, so only 1 dead B1 battle droid with Pierce 1. So the tank is going to strafe over now. And line up some shots onto those stormtroopers in the back. Looks like we're going to use the high energy shells here. Re-rolling 2. Alright, so it looks like 4 saves on those stormtroopers. And, oh, wiped off the table with the objective now becoming unclaimed. Okay. Imperial player going into the bag of wonder and mystery. Okay. Looks like we are going with snipers in the back here. Aim and shooting. So 1B1 dead, looks like. And then repositioning a little bit. Alright, looks like we are now going with Dooku. Dooku is force pushing the center stormtrooper unit towards the droid's table edge there. Alright, rules clarification on force pushing. Alright, so force push was finally finished. He has 2 actions remaining. Taking aim. And looks like his lightsaber's coming out. Taking some swings, re-rolling with the aim.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-roll 2.
Alright, re-rolling 2 with the aim.
So 4.
Alright, 4 saves. I believe this is into the stormtroopers. Oh no, into the dewback, and the dewback does go down thanks to Pierce. So Imperials are down 2 dewbacks at this point, but this droid player is really going to have to focus on that objective and getting it back into his unit. He did a great job with the tank by destroying the other hostage carrier, but he's really going to have to focus on these hostages going forward. So it looks like we are going with the Imperial Royal Guard now. They're attacking the Magnas, hoping to wipe them out. Alright, Manigard spinning dodges, rolling 4 dice. So that is a dead rocket launcher on the Manigard unit, with the Sergeant being the last one standing. Alright, go with B1s. Ugh. Looks like they are moving up and trying to get away from Vader. Vader in the backlines there. It was a great move and is going to be an absolute pain to deal with. He only has 2 wounds taken so far. And Operative Vader having 7, so he's going to have to do 5 wounds on him before Vader falls. Alright, Imperial players go in the bag. Alright, Vader activating, pushing some guys. So I think he just recovered and force choked. And now taking a move. Right, and now Vader's attacking. Yep. Alright, 5 saves, and I'm betting that is 5 dead B1s. So the unit will be alive with 1 model left. Alright, looks like the center B1s are activating. And trying to get away from that dewback. Now that dewback has not activated yet. And that is the hostage unit. But luckily there's another B1 unit there to hold them in place, it looks like. So core troopers for the Imperial side up next. Alright. Looks like we are going with the cores that are in contact with Vader. Or not Vader, with Dooku currently. Alright, throwing some hands with Dooku, it looks like. Dooku making 2 saves there. Alright, droid's debating on what to do here. Looks like dice were thrown. And looks like 1 red save. Dodge spent and saved on Vader, I believe. Or maybe on the stormtroopers. Yeah, it was on these on Vader. Alright, Imperial officer activating, trying to go back and take that hostage. Alright. 2 hits and a save, it looks like, from those B1s attacking the dewback there. This is still really anybody's game. It is super close. Hey, dewback comes out of the bag. Alright. Dewback into B1s. With the aim reroll. So 6 hits on those B1s. So this is probably a B1 unit gone. Yep, and that is the B1 unit gone. So it looks like we are down 2 B1 units from the droid player. Or correction, 3 B1 units down on the droid player side. And I think we have 2 stormtrooper units that are halfway down, 1 that is destroyed, and then 2 dewbacks that are going. Alright, this looks like it was the Magna Guard going into the Royal Guard. Looks like they saved all of them. This has been going on the entire game, guys, from turn 1. These Magna Guard killed that dewback, and now they've been fighting off the Royal Guard the entire time. These Magna Guard are no joke in this game. Looks like the Imperial player has pulled a token. It's core troops. Looks like we are going with the core down by Vader. So moving towards the dewback. And it looks like they have claimed the CIS hostage at this point. CIS are going to really have to work hard to get these back, guys. They've got to get rid of the objective held by the Imperial officer, which the tank probably could do in 2 turns. And they also have to deal with those stormtroopers there, which they don't have a lot of things that are free to do it. They have Vader in their backline taking out B1 units by the masses. Those Royal Guard that are taking out that Magna Guard and will be free pretty soon, as well as a dewback still to get rid of. With the tank being their only hope, and they are going to have to really prioritize taking out those hostage holders to try and tie this game up. Alright, guys, we've got about 40 minutes left in the round with 3 turns to go. I'm betting this game will probably come down to time at this point. Alright, and out of our top 8, we do have 1 table already having results with Richard Laverly claiming the win already. So let's look at him. He is currently ranked 4. Alright, and he is going to be a CIS player with a super tactical droid, B1 battle droids with the extra B1. B1 battle droids with the E5C trooper. And then B1 battle droids with the E60R. 2 units of Magna Guards and 3 Staff Riders. So an interesting list that's a little... no, he has 5 units total of B1s. So interesting list, actually. So he is currently top table, and that table just did finish up with him beating... where are we at? Rounds, top 8. Matt Slate. So Matt Slate was another CIS player. So what's interesting in this top meta is we have 5 CIS players. Well, now down to 4. So we'll see how these other games go. so we are starting up turn 4 with these guys, and it looks like cards have been pulled. With, looks like 2 pips pulled on both sides. Yeah, 2 pips pulled on both sides, but with Dooku having cunning, CIS will take it. All right, CIS opening the turn up with the tank. Maybe. All right, CIS changing their mind, going into the bag of wonder and mystery and pulling out what appears to be special, or appears to be Dooku. So Dooku force pushing those stormtroopers back. With force reflex taking dodge. And getting just shy of Vader. So it looks like we are going to have some force of lightning into those stormtroopers here in just a moment. Now these stormtroopers are holding the CIS hostage currently. With 1 wound onto those stormtroopers, that is 1 dead stormtrooper and a suppression. Alright, and then scattering the stormtroopers out. Alright, special forces are pulled by the Imperial players. Alright, so going with the Imperial Royal Guard, attacking that lone Magna Guard. Can he survive? Almost, if he just had some surges. But no, Magna Guard goes down, and now into the second action for the Imperial Royal Guard. Unit leader coming up. Dooku is facing the impossible here, facing off with a Vader, a unit of Royal Guard, as well as a Dewback and a unit of Stormtroopers there. Alright. B1's coming up to engage in melee with this Stormtrooper here. Making sure cohesion stays correct. Alright, so some cohesion testing there, and B1s are engaged with the stormtroopers. Taking double move up to engage those stormtroopers as well. Looks like drawing a strike team out of the bag with the Special Forces token. Alright, sniper going into Dooku. No aim, interesting. Alright, and that's a wound on Dooku. That looks like it's actually Dooku's first wound, and then the strike team moving back along the Razor Crest. So it looks like tank's gonna go. Alright, tank's going, shooting Vader. Alright, looking like the high energy shells coming in. Reroll with the aim. So 6 going in, Guardian 2 onto the Royal Guard. Make one fail one, so one Royal Guard will go down because it was already wounded from the Magna Guard a long time ago. Alright, now 4 on Vader. Vader spinning a surge, so he'll take 1 wound from the tank. So tank is strafing over on top of the rubble from the downed ATST. Pulling a core trooper unit out of the bag. Alright, 30 minutes left in the round with 2 turns still left to go. Alright, stormtroopers charging, B1's in the back into melee, doing an attack, and looks like taking out 1 B1. Alright, the B1's getting cohered over there. It looks like they're going to punch back. looks like they're going to disengage and then line back up so they can get that droid chain going. At this point, though, it does not look good for the droid player. He's down on his objective. He has suffered heavy losses in his B1 line, and his Magna Guard are gone. And yet, while the Imperials still have a Dewback, the Royal Guard, and Vader left to attack these guys, I just don't know if he can pull it out. Alright, guys. So we do have some rolls going on here from, looks like, the Dewback. So since it is on stream, they decided to roll and do some things while one of them runs to the restroom due to some time crunches here. But looks like the Dewback got 4 hits in. Okay.
Moved, punched your B1s, got 4 hits, and then I went ahead and pulled my next token. Okay, so 4 hits on B1s?
Yep, so Dewback went 4 hits into the B1s and no saves, so 4 B1s go down. And then Stormtroopers Rico Hees pulled the next token, and it was a core troop, I believe. Or no, correction, that is a operative token, so it's Vader going. So let's check our top 8 standings currently. So currently at a top 8, we only have one table that has finished so far, with 30 minutes left in the round. So Vader killing off those B1s. Looks like Force pushing Dooku. All right. So snipers come out of the bag. Doing a double move through that terrain to make sure they can keep the objective held. Alright, so it looks like the core troopers went and got out of there with that hostage. Alright, so that wraps up that round. Going into turn 5. So at this turn 5, guys, the Empire is just kind of running away with it. They have both objectives at this point. The CIS forces are in shambles with most of the B1s gone. And really, Dooku, a tank, and 1 unit of B1s left. It's going to be really hard to fight off that Dewback, Vader, and a unit of Imperial Guard with 2 sniper units and 2 stormtrooper units left, and the Imperial officer. So we'll see how this plays out. So it looks like mechanical incursion was played. And then I did not see Vader's card when it was played. But Vader got a token. Dooku is force pushing Vader into melee with his B1s. And then moving into base contact with the stormtroopers with an objective. So it looks like we've got special forces going, which are going to be the Royal Guard for the Imperial player. Alright, looks like the snipers are going to go. So snipers taking a double move and getting in base contact with the hostage that the Imperial officer also has control over. Alright, B1 battle droids activating. They're going to take a dodge and then punch Vader. Alright, some talks of cover here. Alright, so after talking about cover, the tank has decided to strafe to make sure he gets an open shot onto the hostage carrier there, which is the Imperial officer. Originally, he was choosing to barrage. All right, big pull coming in. Not a bad roll. Re-rolling with the aim. So 6 going into that Imperial officer. This could be a dead Imperial officer, but luckily he does have that unit that can hold. And that is a dead Imperial officer, and the hostage goes down unclaimed. So it's going to be a hard fight. CIS may be able to take it back, but they've got a lot to do to get there. All right, snipers activating for the Imperials and moving down to claim the objective, it looks like. It's going to take 2 movements, though. Nope. All right, so just 1 move over and then stopping there. Now we're going with the B1s. They're going to dodge and stand by. All right. After going over that, we are going to take a dodge and attack action instead onto Vader. So 1 hit onto Vader. And that is a save. Alright. Vader's going. Force pushing the B1s. And then taking a move up, it looks like, towards Dooku. I will say it's been some really interesting Vader play with this because Vader's been all around the table. He started off down at his deployment zone, moved all the way up, went past B1s, killed a ton of B1s, went back into the center, and then back into the B1s again. He's been all over this table and doing work for this Imperial player. So checking over some cards here. Judge calling over. Okay, so it looks like Vader is lifting up Dooku and replacing him with the command card of Vader's Might. Alright, moving for the second action and then recovering a force push with Master of the Force 1. Imperials going in the bag. Alright, Stormtroopers are going, choosing the ones in the back. So 2 hits into the B1s in combat. And no saves. Alright, with 10 minutes left in the round as well. Alright, Duvak's gonna go. Gonna reposition. Oh, aim, pivot, move, and then charge into Dooku. Alright, rerolls with charges. Alright, so spinning a dodge, going down to 4 saves on Dooku. And takes 2 wounds, so Dooku is at 3 wounds currently. Going with Stormtroopers, and Stormtroopers are moving back. These guys do have the objective currently. So this Imperial player is doing things very smartly here. He is making a huddle around all these objectives with 3 units. Just in case that tank winds up and destroys 2 of them, he can still go in and have 1. Alright, so Royal Guard going. They are going to do a move. And then another move back. So a double move, getting closer to those objectives, making that cage around those hostages even more. Alright, looks like we are going into the final round here. So we've got Orbital Strike versus Vader's 3-pip, with the tank taking the order. Alright, activating Dooku first, force reflexing to gain a dodge. Aim and striking Vader. So Vader only has 3 wounds left. If he can do 3 wounds, this would be big. Alright, so 4 saves on Vader with Pierce 1 on these. Alright, and Vader goes down, which is a huge deal for the CIS player. So this game is going to come down to this tank. If this tank can successfully wipe out that little those little squads down there, it may happen, but I don't think it's going to be able to. I'm pretty sure that Imperials are going to take it, but they're probably only going to take it 2-0 rather than 4-0. Alright, activating the Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers running behind cover. All right, guys, we have 5 minutes left in the round on the top table, and only one table so far has reported. This game is coming down to the wire. Alright, so the tank has decided to activate. He is going to barrage. Alright, so an aim reroll, 2 crits going through. With 2 stormtroopers going down and a suppression on that unit. Alright, guys. So we're going to play out the attack from the tank just to see. So 2 crits going into the stormtroopers, it looks like. IRG Guardian 2. Lose an IRG from that as well. And now the orbital strike coming down. So orbital strike into the strike team. So nothing after cover. There is the handshake, guys. That was a fantastic and super close game that went back and forth the entire time. Some great use of Vader by the Imperial player. Really took this game off and got rid of those B1s, which is great to see. He didn't focus on that tank, and it did probably cause a bunch of problems to the Imperial player, but overall still an Imperial win. So thank you, folks, for joining me here at Queen City Gaming. I hope y'all had a fantastic time watching this. I know I missed a couple things, but we're going to do better. So heading into the second to last round on the game, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Queen City Gaming signing out. Oh, and make sure you subscribe.